Well, President Assad's cousin, Ribal Al Assad, joins us here now. Good morning to you. Thanks so much for coming in.
You're welcome.
First of all, what's your reaction to your cousin's attack on the British government?
Well, I think first it's a very big shame that we had to wait until now to see that President Assad has changed his mind, and he's now calling for dialogue with the opposition. It has taken him over nearly 2 years now. We have nearly over 70,000 deaths. We have 800,000 who are refugees. We have over 2.5 million internally displaced. So he should have done that from the beginning.
Is diplomacy a real possibility at resolving this?
I've been saying from the beginning that it's the only way forward, and I think peaceful transitional change is always the best way forward and the only way forward in a country like Syria. As I've also been saying, that a country like Syria, where you have allies, for example, in Lebanon, such as Hezbollah, you have Iran, you have Russia, you have China, you have Iraq on the other side. It's very dangerous. What we're heading to is a very dangerous situation. We are very close to a regional war. You have a lot of sides, conflicting sides today. You have, for example, 2 days ago, the Iraqi army has shot at some rebels' position inside Syria. You have been, for the past week also, there has been a lot of fights between the Hezbollah and rebels inside Syria. So it's becoming a very dangerous situation, and something needs to be done about it.
Well, yes, and he accuses the British government of bullying, of naivety. He says that they're determined to militarise the situation, and we are expecting an announcement from William Hague later in this week. The expectation is that he might increase non-lethal military aid of some kind. To what extent is the West prepared to help the opposition? How far will they go?
Well, we have to be also very honest about one thing, is that the British government until now has not taken very, the situation in Syria has started with people who wanted democracy and freedom. And unfortunately today they found themselves in a situation where the whole region is separated, into sectarian lines, unfortunately. And the British government should have sided with moderate opposition, as Lord Ashdown has said. Unfortunately, they have not. And unfortunately, the international community until recently have sided with the Islamic opposition. As you know, the Syrian National Council, who was for over 1.5 years the only recognized opposition. They were handpicked, they were chosen by Turkish government. We tried to attend their conferences, Friend of Syria conference, who were not accepted, us and many other secular groups. The same thing, it happened again in Qatar with the Syrian National Coalition, where they chose an imam as leader of this new opposition, and this is very hardly convincing for the people who are in Syria.
It just shows you what a complicated picture it is, and complicated for the West to try and help resolve the crisis. So what should the next step be?
I think the only way forward is to back the moderate opposition. The only way forward is to think how peacefully to move towards peaceful transitional change towards democracy in Syria. You cannot give weapons, you cannot count on giving weapons to rebels. First of all, you don't know where those weapons are going to end up with.
The fear is that they'll go into the Islamic groups.
And this is what's been happening
groups.
Because you have other countries such as Qatar, Saudi, and many other countries who have been backing only those hardcore Islamists, such as Al-Nusra group and many others who are not yet on the blacklisted, on the terrorist list, but there are many like Liwa al-Tawheed, like Farouk brigades and many others.
There has been something of a shift in policy as far as the US is concerned. The new US Secretary of State, John Kerry, has talked about upping the amount of non-lethal aid going towards the opposition. Do you think that President Assad feels under pressure to any extent? Did you get that sense at all from watching the interview? What did you make of his stance?
Of course he has to be under pressure. If he's not, he would be, we already, the whole world has seen that he's been a bit delusional about, how he let it drag so long. Of course he's under pressure. He's under pressure also from his own allies, from Russia, China and others, that he needs to move forward. The situation cannot continue. And also, as you know, the fights have been closer and closer to the capital in Damascus. And this is becoming very, very dangerous, I think, for the regime.
Okay, well, Ribal Al Assad, it's interesting to hear your views. Thanks very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you very much, my great pleasure.